Maine in Heaven's mission is connecting people with miniature therapy horses to promote kindness, empathy, and overall well-being.
We go to elementary schools, we go to hospice, we go to hospitals.
You know, I feel like as soon as they walk in, is just a lightness about them. It definitely brings a sense of calmness.
Every single interaction, big or small, makes a difference in people's lives.
I think we see a lot of mini miracles.
They give so much of themselves to these kids. They love them. You can see it in their hearts that it's pure.
We're basically sustained by people who believe in our mission. We're very thankful for all of our donors, and so we can increase our outreach and have great programs.
It's hard not to be happy when you're so grateful. I'm grateful for Maine in Heaven, and it makes me grateful for my life.
Today we have Laurie Senka, and she is a board member at Maine in Heaven. Now, we are going to talk a little bit about this organization, which I found out through an article in People magazine. I think it's very admirable, the things they do to help people and children and adults in general there. But Laurie's going to go into that more in depth. So, Laurie, thanks so much for your time today. Greatly appreciate it.
Sure.
All right, so with that said, let's jump right into this interview, Laurie. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about you and what you do as a board director at Maine in Heaven?
So I've been involved with Maine in Heaven for 4 years now. I just joined the board last year. It's an organization that I just feel does wonderful things. We, work with seniors, we work with children. We go so many different places to bring happiness and joy and just smiles to kids' faces when we go places and they get to see, these wonderful, wonderful horses that we work with. Since COVID, our direction has changed a little bit, so we're not having as many in-person visits, but we've been doing a lot of Zoom visits. We've had a couple drive-through visits where we go and we have families that we work with that come and are able to drive through and see the horses. Their inclusion events, special needs children, children with illnesses. We work with all ages, and they get to experience the joy that we do.
Going back into the interview, again, this is Laurie Senka, and the organization we are talking about is Maine in Heaven. And as we go more into this, can you give us a little bit of history as far as how Maine in Heaven started?
So it started, I forget exactly what year, many years ago. They started, they wanted to, people had love for horses. They had seen, some different things going on with the mini horses. And so they started the organization to try to do the same thing here, in the Chicago suburbs. So they got their herd together and started, train with the training. We start with the training, when the babies are, we get the babies about 5, 6, 7 months old, and we start from the beginning. The horses with the training. So let me show it. So this is Willow. She's one of our new babies. She's about 8 months old. And then we've got little Poppy over here. She's also a new baby. So when we get them, we start them, from scratch. We expose them to, different things, loud noises, music, getting on and off. We have a special mini bus that we use. So, getting on and off the bus, trying to work with them to be able to, squeeze into tight spaces. We go to when it's non-COVID time, we'll go to hospitals, and we have to squeeze in between chairs and beds. And so, the horses have to be used to getting into tiny places. And, the other thing that we do when we go, for our inside visits, because a lot of places, especially hospitals, they have the tile floors. The horses wear special shoes when they walk in. They look like, and I don't have any out here with me, but they're little black leather shoes that have a, rubber grip on the bottom. It's not normal that horses wear shoes and go inside. And, so when they hit that tile, if they don't have their shoes on, it's like being on an ice skating rink for them. So we start really young with them, teaching them about getting the shoes on. The horses go in elevators. We we go to, there's times when we go into, hospice facilities, and, we'll be in a room, with patients who are in hospice and their families,
Mhm.
and they just, so we have to get them used to all of that. We've been places, where there's loud music playing. So, like I
So
said, we just expose them to so many different, experiences before they actually go out on visits, so that it's all just kind of the norm for them.
So, Laurie, how long does all this training take? Because it seems like it's pretty amazing. Horses going in elevators. That's something that,
Mhm.
we hear about service dogs
Right.
doing stuff like that, but I've never heard of a mini horse doing that. That's pretty impressive. And you and the rest of the people that help out and work at Maine in Heaven must have great hearts and a lot of patience to really teach animals all these important skills that help people of all different ages and backgrounds. So, to go back into it, how long does the training start, and how long does it take? I guess I should say.
The
Let me phrase.
training, I mean, like I said, so they start right when we get them, right at around 5. Like Willow and Poppy, when we got them, were 5 and 7 months old.
Mhm.
So we start from the beginning, and then it's ongoing. It's perpetual. I mean, we come out and do training with the horses, 3 days a week, sometimes 4. We spend time with them. When we're out here, everybody gets their horse and they work with the horses, and we do it all the time. It's always ongoing. It never stops. Um,
Okay.
so it's they, as soon as Willow and Poppy are ready to start, once we actually get back to real visits again too, usually year and a half. I mean, it depends on how quickly they progress through their training,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, when we got so we got four of our horses are originals. They're about 4 years old. So this is actually, let me go back there. That's Pixie and Lovey. Actually, they're 3 years old. And
Oh,
then I've
wow.
got Tinkerbell right here. So Tinkerbell, and we've got Winnie and Spirit and Hope. Those are kind of our 4 originals. Those girls are all 4 years old.
Mhm. How
And
how
then
many
we've got,
horses are on the farm,
so
Laurie?
we've got 8 horses that are in our program.
Okay.
So we've got the 4 4-year-olds, we've got 2 3-year-olds, and then the 2 babies that are less than a year old. And Poppy's taking a nap over here.
Okay.
She's standing up taking her nap.
So I want to ask
Um,
you this question. Oh, go ahead,
uh-huh.
Laurie. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna. So yeah, it's just they're out here in the sunshine. It's a beautiful day, and she's gonna take advantage of the the sunshine and sleep standing up.
That's awesome. What would you tell people that I haven't been around horses, how they are?
You know, I, the horses, they're very loving and caring animals. You find that their sense of calm and they have just a presence about them that just relaxes people. Horses are used in all different kinds of therapies, the big horses, the little horses, and it just brings a sense of, once they get used to being and seeing the horse, there's just like a relaxation. It's just like, oh, they're so, I don't know how they do it. They're just special animals. But our horses, we have a lot of times when we're going into the hospitals, and we have a lot of kids that haven't ever seen a horse, or and honestly, when we go to the seniors, also we have some seniors who have never petted a horse. So we just go slow, show them that they're there to provide a love and a connection, to help them to kind of relax, and just feel the goodness that they project. Our girls, they're all pretty lovable animals.
Mm.
And there's, I think back, there was one visit when we were at Shriners Hospital in the city, and this girl had just come out of surgery. She was, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years old, and had just come out of surgery, just come back into recovery, into her room, and she was still pretty groggy. And we walked into the room, and I think it was hope that I had that day. And she walked into the room, and this girl's eyes just lit up, after coming onto this major surgery, and Hope went over and laid her head on the bed, and the girl was petting her, and it just provided kind of a respite from everything that was going on in her life, and in her family too. It just was a special connection, and that's what these girls do for people. There's just a special connection. It kind of takes their mind off of maybe what's going on in their life, and just to provide some joy and happiness from what they're going through.
Well, I always thought that animals are way better than people in general, so so I agree with that. Can you talk about the mini horses that, obviously the aid on the farm, and how these horses do help kids that do have disabilities, senior citizens with Alzheimer's, and other illnesses in general?
hmm So, I mean, for example, we were at a senior home, and um, we were visiting the different residents, and one of the nurses had said, "Oh, you can go visit with." I think it was a gentleman. I wasn't at the visit, but I keep hearing the
Sure.
story. I always hear the story. They said, he doesn't really communicate much. He's nonverbal, and they took the one of the horses over to visit with him, and he proceeded to have quite a conversation with the volunteer that was visiting with him. Um, became very alert, attentive, had a conversation about the horses and about how he had horses when he was little. And, it was just amazing, because the nurses were very shocked at the fact that he actually was, communicating, and, so they were able to bring that memory out in his mind. And, he was able to express those thoughts and memories with us. The same with the kids. Sometimes, for example, we were at Shriners on another visit, and there was a young girl who, for physical therapy, was supposed to be trying to ride a bike. And, she had to ride the bike over to where the horse was waiting for her to visit with, her when she got done. Or, there was another situation where there was a young girl who, was, working on walking, and, she was able to, walk. So we'll have a lead rope that we use, and then we also have, people will help us walk the horses. So for her physical therapy, she got to walk one of the horses, and it certainly is more motivating to a young child just to have to walk down the hallway. But when you get to walk down the hallway with the horses, and all the other kids get to see you with the horses, it's certainly kind of a special thing. And it helps, and they help in so many different ways.
Yeah.
With the different age groups, from, like I said, from seniors all the way down to, the young kids. And it's just so, you get such a warm feeling when you see these things happening, the connections that they make with the kids and the people we visit. It's mind boggling. It's just something that happens, and they have it in them. And, it's a beautiful thing.
So let's talk about a normal day on the farm. What does a normal day on the farm consist of?
So they get turned out. They're in their stalls overnight. They get turned out. They get their breakfast in the morning, and then they get turned out usually about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. And then they have this beautiful, huge pasture that they get to run and spend the day in.
Right.
And
That is a big place.
yeah, it is a big place. And then, on training days when we're out here, we bring them in, do their grooming, work on their training. And then we put them back out in the pasture, and then people on the workers here at the farm, then they'll bring them back in for their usually mid-afternoon. They go back in their stalls, they get more food, more hay, and then they're in for the night. So they've kind of got the nice life here.
So, Laurie, it must cost quite a bit of money to feed these horses, to keep up the property in general. Where is a lot of this money coming from? Is coming from donations, or how do you pay for all of this? It's incredible.
So we do different fundraisers. In fact, if people want to, for Derby Day, we are doing a fundraiser. There's going to be a Derby box, and there will be different, memorabilia and things like that in the box. So we'll do things like that. We have Derby Day. We had a virtual 5K. We sell T-shirts. I mean, that's anything that, you know, we can, you know, that we can, you know, help to bring some of the funds in, you know, through donations. We have people sometimes that just send us donations, and that's wonderful too, you know. We try to go on social media a lot. We use TikTok, we use Instagram, you know, we're on Facebook. You know, so if people want to see what different things we have that you can do, that if anyone wants to, you know, donate anything, like I said, we've got the Derby fundraiser coming up, you know. So right now that's kind of where we're working with that is, you know, trying to, you know, continue to find things that we can do for fundraisers to help us continue, you know, our mission, which is, you know, bringing these wonderful girls to visit people.
So, Laurie, I know throughout the pandemic that there was a lot of the Zoom therapy sessions. Was it mostly kind of what we're doing now? Or how did that all come about with the Zoom therapy sessions?
It is kind of what we're doing right now.
Okay.
We would have people, you know, we would have people calling in, or we would call and set these visits up. You know, when we would spend time out here in the pasture with the horses. I had a Zoom call with a young man. He was reading to the horses.
Wow, that's nice.
So he read a story to one of the horses while she was in her stall. We had another Zoom call where one of our volunteers, who's a second grade teacher, you know, she was out in the pasture reading a book about horses, and you know, the horses were all kind of circled around her. She's trying to read, and you know, it was fun. It was something that people enjoyed, and so yeah, this is the way of the world as it is right now. And Poppy's still over there taking her nap. But yeah, so this is kind of what it looks like, you know, whether it's us, you know, us reading to the kids, or the kids reading to the horses. We're just standing out here and talking about what we do. I had a Zoom call. It was cold. It was the middle of February, and we were standing out here in the snow and the cold, and with a memory care facility. And they actually took the worker there actually took her phone from room to room, and we would talk to different people. And you know, once again, you hear the stories. Well, I had horses when I was a kid. You know, my dad had a big old draft horse, and you know, they like to tell you the stories. And so, you know, even though we're not in person and in touch, it still provides, you know, the connection, you know, for people.
So as we move on, Laurie Sednick here on Fire Breathing Rob. Laurie, what do you hope that the horses do for people that they are working with?
I just hope that, you know, it can take them out of, once again, take them out of their world for a minute, take them out of their stress, take them out of their anxiety, you know, let them have a little, you know, something special in their day, you know, something to make them happy, something to make them smile. You know, just to kind of refocus sometimes if they're going through, you know, surgeries or, you know, illnesses, you know, just to bring back a memory for, you know, the older people who may have memory issues, you know, help. Well, when I was a kid, you know, that's what they love. And, you know, they love to tell you about when they were a kid. And, you know, just to hope to bring some joy into their life and into their day, you know, with our special group of girls.
What do you want the people that are watching this to leave with?
You know, we have a program that does wonderful things for all different age groups, you know, all different kinds of people from all walks of life. And you know, we can always use more volunteers, we can always use donations. You know, it does take money to keep horses. And you know, it you know, follow us on social media, you can see what we're doing. You know, you can see what fundraisers we have going on. Once again, we're always looking for more volunteers, so you can go online to we have www.Maine in Heaven, and you know, go on our website. You can see more pictures of the horses. You know, you can see pictures. We have a beautiful video from when we were at on a Shriner's visit, and from the barn here from last year. so I just know that we love what we do. We love our horses. We take great care of our horses, and they've got a good life, and we hope to bring that and share what we have with others.
But Laurie, thanks so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. You guys are doing amazing work. They're helping people and also helping these beautiful animals live great lives. So I really, truly appreciate everything you're doing.
Well, thank you. And it was nice talking with you today.